And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, as well as our engineer extraordinaire, Nick the Geek, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Thank you very much, legendary John Bon Jovial. Another week, another show, and so much more happening. I'll tell you, we're having too much fun. It should almost be illegal. How you doing this week, John Bon Jovial?
Well, you know, I can't really remember the last time I had this much fun with my clothes on.
And that's sure is that a good thing?
It's kind of left you speechless there.
Yes,
we're doing okay here at Camp Swampy in the Southwest Florida, just a tad bit north of the Everglades.
That's good to hear.
The alligators are alligatory and the birds are birdie, and and it's hotter than hell here, and of course everybody that's up north right now where it's 8 degrees, they're doing like, oh, it's too hot. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, I've been noticing that you got your spring to summer heat back, and it's strange too because we finally got some winter. We've been under 70 all day today, and it looks like, with the exception of maybe the weekend, we're going to be in the 60s for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, which means winter is really here finally.
That's nice because here, for the next 2 weeks, they're forecasting temperatures in the mid to upper 80s here.
This is a strange winter, isn't it?
Yeah, very weird indeed.
Yeah, and it's been hammering the upper Midwest and Northeast. I mean, they've been getting some nasty, nasty weather between the intolerable cold and the heavy snow. I know there was a spot in upstate New York, farther up than I used to live, that was named the heaviest snow in the country. They got the most snow of any populated place in the United States. They said something like over 300 inches already by the end of last week. And, of course, more coming. But the good news is, for those of you in those areas, they're saying now that it's going to be more mild for the last half of February. Of course, you still got March to worry about, but at least you should get a reprieve for the next couple of weeks or the last week or so of the month.
Yeah, my sister-in-law lives in Michigan, Augusta, Michigan, which is a little town midway between Battle Creek and Kalamazoo. And I was talking to her yesterday and complaining about the ongoing heat here, in which she said a couple of bad words. I think one of them began with F, but I won't repeat it because it's been like anywhere from 3 below zero to about 10 above for the last couple of weeks or so, and she had absolutely no pity for me whatsoever.
I can understand that. It has been a really strange winter. And I can relate to the people that are having trouble adjusting. I mean, we have the same thing out here in the Valley of the Sun. It gets down below 70, and I already seen people walking by today with hoodies on and scarves wrapped around, covering up their faces. And I'm thinking, what do you think this is? Pling Chang or something? This isn't cold. Come on, all right. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt today. It's freezing. What can I say? It's a wonderful world. We've got a great show for you today, folks. We got a return from the Ivory Tower Project with some brand new music. They're going to be joining us in probably about 25 minutes or so. And before that, we have a new group from over on the European continent, a group who call themselves Yoyo XNO. Okay, don't ask me, ask them. As a matter of fact, I think we will ask them where they came up with that name. Yeah, we should absolutely do that, whether we want to know or not. I don't know. I'm curious. I want to know where the name came from, but they're a neat group. I think you're really going to enjoy them. They're kind of I don't know what I want to say. They're pop with a touch, just a touch maybe of punk, garage band sound, but good fun music. I think you're really going to enjoy them. They're going to be joining us in just a few minutes as well. So we have that to look forward to. We've got some great shows coming up in the near future. Next week, for example, we have another all-female show. They can't accuse us of not having enough females in the mix here, because we have two exciting young ladies going to be on the show next week. One of them, you may remember, was with us not too long ago, back last fall sometime. Jenny J. I don't know why I keep trying to say Jeannie. Jenny J., who has just finished a recording session in L.A. and will be debuting her new music next week. And we have another young lady that you may not have heard of, but you sure are going to. Stephanie Grace will also be joining us. So next week is an all-ladies show. John, what do you think of that?
I'm fine. I think we should have ladies' night, so to speak, as long as we don't want to invite certain people. We don't want Harvey Weinstein to be there. I think that might be a bad idea to invite him.
Yeah, well, he's not a lady.
Roman
anyway,
Polanski. We may not. We may want to avoid having Roman Polanski there.
I don't know. Is it legal for? Is it legal for
Kevin
him to come back?
What?
I was going to say, is it legal for Polanski to come back into the country? I know they were talking about exonerating him somehow.
No, I know that there is a push underway in the legal system for Mr. Polanski to be exonerated of his charges, statute of limitations, call it what you will. Personally, myself, with the mood of the present administration in Washington, I don't see that happening.
Nor I should take a minute here to note that music has lost a couple of its icons. As a matter of fact, today, the day this show was recorded, the day that we recorded this show, which would have been February 12th, Monday, February 12th, we lost a country music star, lost his name, Singletary, and also a long-time crooner from back in the World War II era, all the way up in the 50s and into the 60s, Vic Damone. We lost
Vic Damone and Daryl Singletary.
Right, Daryl. I had a mind lock there. I'd posted it earlier today and had a mind lock, but we lost them both. Now, Vic Damone was 89 years old, and Daryl Singletary was only 46. And as of this recording, as of this show right now, there's still no announcement as to what the cause of death for him was. It was rather sudden and surprising. He's been touring. As a matter of fact, he had tour dates scheduled for later this week. So that was a big surprise. But two more icons of music have moved on to rock and roll heaven, as it were, and may they rest in peace.
Absolutely.
Okay,
let's move on. I think this is an awards show after all. So
yes,
I think that you ought to throw. I think you ought to throw an award out there.
Okay. Do we have someone that is someone warranted and deserving of a music award this week? Is there someone we can?
I don't have a music award per se, but I want to throw kudos out to that 17-year-old kid in the Olympics, Red.
Absolutely.
That performance that he did on that snowboard was just absolutely jaw-dropping, and I want to send out my heartiest congratulations to him and his family, because he's going to come home now a hometown hero.
Right, Red Gerard is the young man.
Red Gerard, name. That's it. Yep.
And what an amazing. What an amazing situation that was. I mean, he wasn't even expected to make the team, let alone make the medal podium, and he goes through and nails that run and winds up with the gold medal.
Well, I was watching the interview with him, and the first couple of runs he was having problems with the wind, and he was trying to stay true to his routine, and he just kept blowing it. And on his third run, which was the medal-winning run, he basically said, screw it, I'm going to experiment. And he
Exactly.
did something that he had only tried a few times before but had never perfected, and he nailed it.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those Olympic stories that you're going to see and hear for decades to come. They'll be talking about that long after you and I are gone. That was
yeah.
That was amazing, and what a thrill for the kid. I mean, he's worked his heart out, and he seems like a good, level-headed kid too. He's not letting it go to his head, but at the same time, you could tell he was really emotional about it.
Oh, yes, I absolutely understand. Hey, David, the other thing that I wanted to talk about today is that I've been, of course, as I do every day, keeping track of a lot of the posts that you put up on Facebook for the David Bowers Awards, and also the Rockstar 101 commentaries that you're making. And I'm seeing a few comments in there about the ways that some of these indie artists can try to establish themselves and really give a kickstart to their career. And since we've got a few minutes yet until our first guest gets here, I was wondering if maybe you want to devote a couple of minutes to talking about and elaborating on some of these comments that you've made, because they piqued my interest.
It's yes, I really enjoy ferreting out these tips for upcoming emerging artists, and actually, it's been we're long overdue for another Rockstar 100 guest on the show here. We do, for those of you who may have missed it, we do from time to time have an irregular feature of Rockstar 101 on the show here, and we'll have guests from various parts of the music industry. We've had record label executives, A&R guys, we've had venue operators, and a lot of different people have come on and discussed what it takes to make a successful career in music, and that's what my daily Rockstar 101 online is all about. And I really enjoy ferreting out these tips of what it takes to make a successful career in music. And a couple of the more recent ones we had was one was doing cover copies. And I think today's is the one where it asks, is doing cover copies on YouTube a good way to devote your time and talents? And it discusses whether posting your covers on YouTube is really worth the time and effort on your part. And there's so many things, so many factors to think of. And we found so many artists just starting out who aren't aware, unless you have a really good mentor who is experienced in the music business, and it is a business, don't ever forget that. But unless you have a really experienced mentor to teach you all of the various things that go into it, there is an awful lot to learn, and there are a lot of artists out there, some very talented ones, who are held back by their lack of knowledge of the way to accomplish these things. And it goes so far beyond learning to get up on the stage and sing. And for those that play instruments, know your instrument. And then, of course, you go to groups, and then you've got so many more things. It grows exponentially because you not only have the basics that each of you must know, but you have to work on the interaction between you and your fellow bandmates. And there are just so many things that you need to know. So I think one of the basic things that I would tell a new artist looking to make a successful career out of music, after firstly telling them, do it for love of what you do. If you get into it just to make money, you're probably not going to make it. But if you get into it for the love of what you do and you honestly enjoy what you do, you've got the first big step. And the next thing I would tell them is seek out someone experienced in the business who you trust and can work well with, and learn from them. John?
Well, yeah, the comment that I wanted to make on that, and the reason why I brought it up was in direct relation to the comment that you made about the ongoing discussion of YouTube and whether you should post covers or post original material. And my thought on that is if you're a band that wants to get noticed, why do you want to do somebody else's material? An occasional cover? Sure. I think that's great. Wild Horse does a terrific cover of House of the Rising Sun. But I think that if you look up their music on Reverb Nation or on YouTube or really any other